Welcome to TIMFD. Today is my favorite day with your hosts, David Towner and Sam McKeown. If this podcast does speak to you, please like, share, and comment. Let your friends know all about us. And now, here's your hosts, Dave and Sam. Well, welcome to Today is My Favorite Day. Our podcast today, David is not here with me today. He is going through some family issues, which I'm sure he will talk about at some point in time in the future, but that will be entirely up to him. One of the things I wanted to address today is that this book came out of David's journey and struggle with cancer. And many folks struggle with cancer, many families with cancer every day. So I thought I would address my journey with cancer just so you can see that we're not perfect. We struggle with today is my favorite day every day. But my journey with this started with back in 2019 with Dr. Frank. Went down, my PSA level was up. He walked into the room and he looks at me and said, "You have cancer, prostate cancer." Now, prostate cancer is, it's weird. There's some that will, it'll progress rapidly and it'll kill you shortly. And there's some that you could have for 20, 30 years and it'll never be an issue. So mine was of the type that probably would not grow significantly. However, the prostate was extremely large. So we scheduled an appointment with the oncologist. I will have to say something about Dr. Frank. He is blunt to the point, and I've really appreciated that about him. And he told me exactly what my options are. So he set me up with the oncologist, and I went down and saw Dr. Engelman. Long story short, my only option for prostate cancer was surgery. Well, I really didn't want to do that. So that was in 2019, December of 2019. What happened in 2020? Pandemic happens. I am seriously able to put off the surgery because of a national health crisis, whether you think like I do as far as where it came from or whatever. I had a little bit of a reprieve and I knew it wasn't going to kill me. So my wife and I, we did a few things. We looked at some natural healing. We looked at some other options. We looked at alternatives. And quite frankly, there's not a lot of alternatives that truly work. There's a lot of claims that they work, but there's not a lot of stuff out there that actually works when it comes to prostate cancer in men. Through 2020 and 2021, my PSA level, which is a level you have to have checked, if you're 40 years old, get your PSA level checked and stay on top of the numbers. It's all about numbers. But they played games with my mind. Every 3 months, they played games with my mind. It would seemingly go down. Oh, what we're doing is working. And then 3 months later, it jumps through the roof. So the oncologist told me, well, that's to be expected. Okay. I don't want to expect it. I don't like it. My wife and I had a conversation after every appointment. What's the level? What are we going to do? How are we going to go? The end of 2021, beginning of 2022, I took a substantial jump in PSA. Put things in perspective. I needed to make a decision, and I needed to make it now. The cancer was growing. The prostate continued to grow, and everyday issues just deteriorated. And those of you who have gone through this will understand what I'm talking about, and there's no sense in getting into that. Now, we decided in March to schedule the surgery. Significantly bad number. Had one of those moments where it was like, I really don't want to have to deal with this. So we scheduled the surgery for April 28th of 2022. On March 18th of 2022, life took an abrupt detour for me. I went for a follow-up on a minor injury, and before I knew it, the facility has 10 people in the room, an ambulance on the way, And they're telling me that in less than 30 minutes, I'm over at Countryside Meats with congestive heart failure and AFib, and telling me that I have had a serious cardiac event in the past. And I'm like, I don't think so. I would have known if I was having a heart attack, right? We'll get back to that story. But here's the thing. It required me to put off the surgery. Had to get to a point where the heart was stable and had to be on some of the meds for at least 30 days. So in consultation with the cardiologist and the urologist, we scheduled the surgery for May 3rd, day after my anniversary. I wasn't even thinking about my anniversary when I scheduled the surgery, but my wife and I have plans at the end of the month to celebrate our anniversary. But here's what happened during that time frame. Here's where I got off track with today is my favorite day. See, I was breathing, albeit not too well. I mean, I had trouble breathing. The AFib does that to you, okay? I knew I wasn't alone. I had a church family. I had my wife, my children, my grandchildren all around me. I had the support. I knew I wasn't alone. That was the easy part. I knew I was loved. I knew God loved me. I knew He had a plan, but I didn't believe that He had a plan. So the first three parts of today is my favorite day, the breathing and not alone and being loved, I kind of had that down, right? But my direction, I was lost. I had no idea. I remember laying in the hospital bed after the heart thing and wondering, what am I going to do now? How am I going to be able to function? The next part of today is my favorite day is, what was my life meaning now? I know my life had meaning, but what was the meaning now? And you have cancer, you have heart issues, two big killers in this country, and you're thinking, do I really have a future? I struggle every day with direction, meaning, and future, and quite frankly, still do today. I'm just not all there. What I did do, and what I thought about, was I truly need to look at what in my life needs to go away and what needs to stay. There's relationships that don't serve my purpose now. They don't serve my business. They don't serve my ministry at the church. So you have to make a decision to change that. There's items that I do. There's teachings that I do and things like that. What serves me now? What gives my life purpose and meaning? Is it my financial coaching? Is it the business coaching? What really drives me every day? And as I'm going through some of that, I'm realizing that there are some things that I truly need to let go of. And that's difficult when you look at, you put this much expense into a product, and you put this much expense into a training, and you're passionate about it, you really enjoy it, but does it really serve me? Does it really serve the community? And even though I may be good at it, am I really serving myself by teaching that particular item? Should I move on? So I'm constantly going through that. I'm constantly trying to figure out what serves me now, what's my meaning, what's my future, and how am I going to get there? We made a decision with the cardiologist. He knew that the prostate surgery needed to get done. So we scheduled it for May 3rd, like I said, and worked all the way up until the Friday before that, trying to get my heart stable and get everything stable and all that kind of stuff, and with the medications and stuff. And so I was able to understand that the surgery was going to happen, and I knew it needed to happen, and that we would be able to pick up the treatment options and any further diagnosis in June when it came to the cardiologist. So we scheduled the surgery. And I have since had that. Went off without a hitch at St. Joseph's North. It's a Bay Care facility. awesome facility. The nursing staff, the doctors and everything up there are just phenomenal. I've been in 2 Baycare facilities, and I'll tell you what, you talk about professionals and really working with you and trying to make sure that you're comfortable, that you're healthy, that you're going forward, and they want you to know what your procedures are. Now, and I'm still in the middle of the post-op procedure, post-op period, and it dawned on me as I'm writing this, how often during these last month and 6 weeks that I have forgotten to gaze at God and glance at the problem. There was an epiphany over at Countryside when I'm dealing with the heart things. I woke up in the middle of the night, and it was, God, what's going on here? What's going on? Why can't I sleep? Why I'm struggling here. And the only answer I got was, I got this. So I was busy screaming at God over stuff that he already had control over. And that's one of the hardest things as Christ followers that we have, is to give up control of it to God. Gaze at God and glance at the problem. So, where are we at now? Finishing up the post-op, supposedly or hopefully released on Monday. Everything is done, and I'll just have a 3, 6, and 12-month follow-up to make sure everything's on track. The cancer is gone. I am cancer-free. That has been something that the church has been praying for. My family's been praying for. I have a empowered living community that I'm a part of, have been praying for. Lots of folks have been praying for it. I am cancer-free. Praise God. It just, it is what it is. And so my breathing, I am breathing well. Do I struggle from time to time? Yeah. But I'm able to recognize what's bringing on the irregular breathing. God has shown me some of the things that I need to do. One of the things I need to do to be able to breathe properly and to be able to heal properly is to slow down and listen to what the doctors say. I'm not real good at that, okay? I talked to the nurse at the urologist yesterday, and she asked me how many times I was going up and down the stairs. That's not something I'm supposed to be doing, so quite frankly, and it causes some issues that, trust me, it causes some issues. We don't need to get into that. I have realized I'm not alone. I have people literally from all over the world who have reached out to see how I'm doing. All over the world. So you're not alone. You are not alone. I am loved. We're struggling right now. Our family, a lot of our family is in Ukraine, and it's tough. And we have done everything that we can. We've applied to sponsor, but we're working with the government, so that takes time. But I know, without a doubt, I'm loved. Those folks are praying for me. Those folks love me. It's phenomenal. Have I totally regained my direction? No. I'm working on it. I am seriously working on it. I have the opportunity and the privilege to preach coming up in a couple of weeks here at the Harbor Church, and I'm totally looking forward to it. We have some student activities planned up. They're going to go zip lining. I unfortunately will not be able to zip line just because of the physical condition that I have right now. So it would not be wise for me to zip line. So, but I really feel like I am getting more direction back. I'm getting back on track with God. I've looked at some of the programs that I have, and I've said, no, not now. So I took them off my plate. Have I done away with them? No, not completely. They're on the bookshelf. They're there when God shows me it's time to bring them back. One thing at a time. I'm taking one thing at a time. Right now, my biggest focus is on my financial coaching. I believe that I have helped many people to become financially free and financially independent. They have gotten tons of debt paid off. I had one client that paid off $39,000 worth of student loan debt in 9 months. It can be done. So I get really passionate about that. And I love it when people sit down and do their budget and the light bulb comes on and they know they got it. Because now it's all fun from there. It's not fun and games, but it's a lot of fun. And once they have it, it's amazing. It's an amazing feeling. Does my life have meaning? Yeah, it does. I've regained that perspective. I struggled. I tell you, I've struggled. But I know it does. And here's the thing. Today is my favorite day. It may be the only day I have left. I don't know what's going to happen when I walk outside these doors. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, next day. But I have to live life to its fullest today and plan for tomorrow. And I would encourage you to do that. Live life to its fullest today and plan for tomorrow. So my life does have meaning. And I firmly believe I have a future. Now, are there some things that I'm going to have to redirect and I'm going to have to look at and try and understand as far as my business is concerned, family and some other relationships? Yes. But I do have a future. And I'm content if it's only one day at a time. I'm content that if God takes me tomorrow, it's because I've completed the plan. I can sit up here and tell you to do these steps, do the 6 steps, understand that you're breathing, that you're not alone, that you're loved, that you have direction, that your life has meaning, and that you have a future. But you have to believe that yourself. And it's not easy. I'm telling you, it's not easy. And we see it every week at Celebrate Recovery. We see people come in and they have no direction. They're steeped in all sorts of addictions, bad habits, hang-ups, and things that they want to get out of. Here's the thing. When you make the decision to recover, then you are on the path to breathing well, to not being alone, to being loved, to finding direction, having meaning, and having a future. We all relapse from time to time. We all struggle from time to time. But that's where you need a family and a community around you to help you grow and nurture your spiritual life, your physical life, and your mental life. Folks, I would encourage you. We are a church. It's the Harbor Church. Today is my favorite day. You can find us online. I will put a link in the show notes. But I strongly encourage you, if you wake up in the morning and you're having a hard time, Lord, I don't know. I'm scared. You're not breathing well. Or you feel like you're all alone. You feel like nobody loves you. I truly have an answer for that one. That you're lost, that you're wandering. You have no meaning, no future. Reach out to us. We have links in the show notes I'll have links for the church. I'll have links for David and for myself. Don't hesitate to reach out to us. Today is my favorite day. Do I mess up? Do I forget? Do I forget these 6 key indicators of why today is my favorite day? Absolutely, and you will too. But that's why we have the community of the Harbor Church. I would encourage you, reach out to us. Today is my favorite day because I'm alive. I do have a future. And I have fully recognized that God is in control. Thanks for listening. This has been Sam McKeown. Be blessed. We will see you next time. Thank you for listening to TIMFD. Today is my favorite day. The views, comments, and opinions expressed here today are those of the hosts and guests alone, and Dave and Sam are solely responsible for the content of this podcast. TIMFD, Today is My Favorite Day, is produced and directed by Alex Korn. Music is composed and performed by Chuck Vaught. Thank you for listening. Have a great day, live intentionally, and be very blessed, my friends.